Hi everyone, I'm Logo correspondent Raymond Braun, and right now I am somewhere that you might not expect from me or for Logo, and that is the Republican National Convention right here in Cleveland, Ohio. As a gay man, I really struggled with whether I even felt comfortable coming to this convention because I worried about my personal safety, I worried about a lot of the hatred that's been associated with this election cycle, but for me, my primary goal is equality for all LGBTQ people. And in order to do that, we need to talk to people who don't currently agree with us, and even talk to people who are actively fighting against us. We're also going to talk to LGBTQ Republicans and their supporters about what they're doing within the party to try to make it more inclusive and how they're responding to this year's platform, which many people are calling the most aggressively anti-LGBTQ platform in the Republican Party's history. What's your take on this platform?
Yeah, I think that the key is the T in anti-LGBT. I mean, for the first time ever, the Republican Party platform is explicitly anti-transgender. They've put in all of this terrible language about denying transgender people equal access to facilities. And, I think it was pretty jarring and pretty shocking for them to come with that language and to really be so mean-spirited about it.
As LGBT issues come more to the forefront in terms of the broader society and the broader political culture in the country, Republicans of a certain brand feel a need to kind of recoil against that and strengthen the language against that. So, for example, 4 years ago, transgender bathrooms were not an issue. So of course there wasn't negative language about transgender issues in the platform because there wasn't a national conversation about it.
The platform that just came out is horrific. I'm disappointed we didn't put up more of a fight as a Republican LGBT community.
In addition to things like that you might expect, like a continued opposition to marriage equality, there are planks in the platform that talk about the military not being a place for social experimentation. That's a direct jab at our LGBT men and women in uniform who are defending our freedoms.
This is not a division that we should have in this country. It shouldn't even be an argument at this point. And it's against the American values. It's hateful. It's not about your personal feelings. It's frankly not about your religion either. It's about recognizing in a time of war, our country needs the best people they can find. And we shouldn't be excluding anyone. And it's about equality. You can't stand up and say you're a patriot and you love equality for everybody except a certain group of people.
There is a plank in the platform with a tacit affirmation and endorsement of the debunked psychological practice of so-called conversion or so-called pray the gay away therapy. And in addition to that, even putting all that other stuff aside, when given an opportunity to at least show some sort of sympathy and solidarity with the LGBT community in the wake of the horrendous terrorist attack at the gay club Pulse in Orlando by a radical Islamic terrorist, the platform committee opted not to make any direct reference to the very community that attack was directed on.
So I really had two main goals going into it. One was to eliminate the divisive, hurtful language about marriage that from the advocates within the platform committee who would like to go back to a state where we deny same-sex couples the right to vote. Number one, that's outdated. Number two, it's the wrong thing to do. And number three, it's political suicide. The second aspect of what we tried to do was to include positive references to the LGBT community, supporting our community as victims of terrorism, violence, and extremism here in the U.S. and around the world.
For us, it's all about the work that we're doing to protect LGBT Americans from discrimination. And so whenever I say that, I mean making sure you won't be fired just for being gay, kicked out of your house just because you're transgender, or denied any kind of a public service or public accommodation simply because of your LGBT status. And so that work really speaks to Republicans who believe that everyone should have a job, everybody should be able to have a safe and stable home, that families should be able to take care of themselves, make a living, and pursue their American dream.
These are the conversations that change people's minds, and I really felt like being a voice for the LGBT community in this room would kind of help remind the platform committee members that we were speaking to the LGBT community with this platform, that they had to speak to me as somebody who said that I was a lesbian, a Republican, and proud of it, would kind of remind them that we were speaking to all LGBT Americans.
You might watch this video and be so angry. You might say, why is Logo covering this? How can people share these views? And I'll be honest with you, as I was having these conversations and experiencing this event, there were times where I was incredibly angry, where I felt sad, where I felt scared. So as a very openly proud gay man. That is why I am standing right here on the Republican National Convention floor talking about the issues that matter to our community, because we need to be here. We need to let people know that we're visible. We need to shine a light on the stories and the efforts that are happening within the party to make it more inclusive, because if we're going to achieve full equality and acceptance in America and around the world, we need to be talking to people who don't currently agree with us. What's important is that we're having these conversations, we're discussing what's at stake for the LGBTQ community, and that is exactly what we're going to keep doing with Logo. So be sure to follow along at logotv.com and across all of Logo's social channels. Again, I'm Raymond Braun, your Logo correspondent, and I'll see you on the campaign trail.